create a distributed skill stack based on the blockchain. So anybody can record their skill stack. They would have to be verified. So if someone's teaching something, they'd have to verify that the person knows what they say they know. So there's an award progress. But these awards are saved to the blockchain. Hey, how are you doing? It's Alan here, and I want to talk about the blockchain really, really quickly. So, our HSC was attacked. There was lots of places attacked recently. And one of the problems is there's a central database. Now, all these systems, like our health system in Ireland, I think New Zealand was attacked as well. And we all know the pipeline in the US was attacked. And there's probably a number of other places as well. A whole bunch of places were attacked. Now, one of the issues is that there's one central point to be attacked. One central point to be attacked. And when we were building websites, one thing we would do is put them on a CDN, which is Cloudflare, Content Delivery Network. Now, all this does is it puts the website, the files for the website, on hundreds of different servers around the world. Now, we did it for SEO purposes because that millisecond, if the server is closer to you, when you're taking down a website, that millisecond actually makes a difference for SEO. So Google cares about that millisecond difference in the download of the files. And that's why something like CDN like Cloudflare helps with SEO. But the other thing that Cloudflare really helps with is if you're putting something online, it helps with attacks as well. Because, for example, there's a denial of service attack where lots of requests are sent to a website, for example, which brings the website, it's just too much and it brings the website or server down. But that can't happen in Cloudflare because it's copied to hundreds of different places. So there's no one central point where you can attack. Now, that takes the blockchain. Blockchain is basically a database, an encrypted database. So everything's encrypted on it. So you can't, let's say it's on hundreds of different servers, so thousands of different servers. So blockchain is there's a block here and there's a chain to another block. And there's another block and there's another chain, there's another block and there's another chain. So all of the blocks are chained to each other. Now, block just basically means database. And there's hundreds of thousands of databases all chained to each other. And it makes it difficult to attack because which one do you attack? And if you attack one, it's still, there's a replicated version of that data on another server. So it's not one central point of attack. So for these hackers who are encrypting data or trying to get data, it's more difficult. And then you would say, well, if it's on thousands of servers, isn't it easier to attack because you can get the data off? But the data is encrypted. So you can pull all the data down from one server, but it can't see it. And we used to do this with credit cards when you save it. You wouldn't do that anymore. We don't. Well, a long time ago, you would save like personal details or credit cards to databases, but you would make sure it's encrypted. So if the database was attacked and downloaded, they wouldn't be able to get those credit card details. Now, banks do that now. So that's how you would never do that as a programmer because that's the bank's job to encrypt that stuff and make sure it's not stolen. So you let and it's getting more and more complex. So you let the experts deal with their area. But on a simple level, you can encrypt stuff in a database. So this blockchain, it's all encrypted. So what I'm thinking about is a encrypted blockchain. Now, be built on Ethereum with a programming language called Solidity, basically like JavaScript. And with the Solidity programming language, what you can do is you can create a distributed skill stack based on the blockchain. So anybody can record their skill stack. They would have to be verified. So if someone's teaching something, they'd have to verify that the person knows what they say they know. So there's an award progress. But these awards are saved to the blockchain, to this blockchain built on Solidity in the Ethereum network. And that would mean that there's a verification that you know a certain thing. Like I know Photoshop very, very well. So let's let me do the Photoshop exam and save that into this blockchain as part of my skill stack. And I don't know French. So if someone searched for me, well, I know a little bit French. So no, je m'appelle Alan. But that doesn't qualify me for a job where I need to translate French. Je suis tout double. Anyone who's French is watching this is probably laughing at my accent. But I don't know French to a level where I can work in a job that needs French. So that wouldn't be part of my skill set. So you could search in the blockchain. So I can go into an interview and say, oh yeah, I know French. Je m'appelle Alan. And I can learn off a few phrases, but it's not saved in my skill stack. So when they search for me, they'll say, well, you don't have it saved here in your skill stack online on the blockchain. So why don't you go off and do the exam and come back, and then we can verify that you do know French to a level where we can employ you. So it's based on the Scott Adams skill stack, it's a blockchain that holds people's skill stacks. Now, it can be verified by teachers who want to teach a particular subject, and they can say, well, if someone knows A, B, C, and D, then they're verified by me. And of course, the teachers will be rated by employers. So if someone comes and gets a job and they don't have the level of knowledge that they need to know, that will go back to the blockchain that someone came into a job, they didn't have the correct level, and that would go back on the rating for the teacher on the actual, and it'd be saved in the blockchain. So saved forever. Like once it gets verified in the blockchain, it's there, and you can't just go in and get rid of it. So there's a verification process as far as learners are concerned, as far as teachers are concerned, and it means employers can find good people that do have the skills that they need, do have the skill stack that they need, and it's all verified and locked into this blockchain on the Ethereum network, built with this JavaScript programming language, Solidity. So anybody can come and learn anything, and the problem right now with learning stuff is, how do you show that you learned something and you know something? How do you show that to an employer? Now you can go and you can do an online test with the employer, or you can do a interview where you display your knowledge, or you could just say in a CV or a covering letter that you have this knowledge. But nothing beats having your skill stack in the blockchain, all verified by teachers who are rated. Nothing can beat that. It's in the blockchain. You can't fudge it. And there's going to be a huge pool of learners who have these skills that companies are looking for, and they can just search and find them straight away. Search within this blockchain, find them straight away. Here we have 20 people here. We have 20 people here that fit some or all of the skills that we're looking for. Are we going to spend 3 months going through CVs, looking at degrees, interviewing people, or are we just going to, let's take these people in first because it's just much faster, and they're all verified. And we can rate the teachers later on if it doesn't work out. Just going to make the whole HR process much more simple. Much more simple. And I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, do we put a coin? Do we put some sort of coin into this? Do we put looking for warrior's coin or warrior coin into this? And very possibly, that can be done. But the main thing is it's the verification process, because people are learning stuff online now all of the time. And where do you have a international verification process that people have skills that they say they have? It's nowhere. But now we can build this on the Ethereum network with this programming language Solidity, and people can come in, any employer can come in, find people who have the skills and take them on, and also rate within the system as well. It's the future, the absolute future of learning. And the blockchain is a verified process. The blockchain is verified. Nobody can change it. You can't mess around with it. It's absolutely verified. You hear about these people getting degrees and are getting a degree, going through a month's program or something, getting a degree or paying money for degrees. You cannot do this with this. You've got to verify that you have the skill. It can't be fudged. Because me and Alan here want to talk about the blockchain for the future of education.